My name is Michael, and I've recently completed an M.Ed in education with the University of Essex Online. Okay, so just to begin with a little bit about myself, my name's Michael. I'm an experienced educator working at University. I've just had a little boy, so I'm very busy with my new son and my work, and I've just graduated with the University of Essex Online there. Okay, so the reason why I chose to study online was because it was a really good fit for me, as I was able to integrate my experience and also continue working in my field, which was education. If I'd had to stop working, I would have had to have maybe missed out on a lot of experience that I would have gained in that time. So it was a really good fit for me to study with the University of Essex Online. The course was a really good fit for me, as I was able to mix and match modules that were more suitable for me in my particular practice in education. So whether it was easy or hard to study online, I would say it was a challenge for me, because you have to fit in what's essentially a lot of work in with your normal work that you might be doing in your practice. So it can be quite intense. It is very rewarding, because obviously that grade to say you got a merit or you did well can mean so much more in the context of studying online. So it is a challenge, but I do feel a real sense of achievement for doing it online, as I was able to combine my work with my studies in a way that I don't think would have been possible if I'd had to just study in campus. For me, making it to the graduation celebration is a really big deal. It's maybe perhaps hard to illustrate this, but the context of finishing my course during 2020 was truly an intense experience for me. So it would be hard to put into words. It's many, many times over the sense of achievement I had when I graduated my bachelor's. I've had to study in very challenging conditions and complete work in quite a challenging context just for my particular graduation year. But also, I mean, for me, it was coming back to study was a real sense of achievement as well, because I was able to finish my master's, which is something I've always really wanted to do, but this was a really good opportunity for me to do it there. If I could come to the campus graduation, that would be great. I would have loved to have brought my wife and my little boy. It would have been a little day out, and I think my parents would have also been very proud to come along and have a little day out to Essex in Colchester. But for me, I'll attend the online graduation and hopefully just maybe get to make some connections, and also just kind of share in the success of graduating. For me, I think it was, I did a piece of work for course design, and I integrated a course design that I was working on, and I involved a lot of my colleagues and managers. And this was a really memorable point for me in my course, because I remember really feeling like I was bringing a lot of the knowledge into practice. This was an experience that I hadn't had in my education before, where it was really felt that my professional practice and my studies came together, because a lot of the learning theories and practices that were being discussed on my course was something I could bring into this module I was teaching on soft skills at the company I was working at. So this was a really exciting point in the course for me there. My final project was on agile methods in practice. So this was looking at what had traditionally been a kind of software development set of practices, and looking how I could use these to improve courses. This was mean that you would try and improve courses over time, and also really allowed me to improve maybe my approaches on developing and creating learning programs. So my final project was a really interesting one for me, and it's one that I will take with me of all the knowledge I developed on that. So it was just looking at agile methods in education, and it was a really interesting project to work on. Yeah. To say how much my life has changed since beginning the course would be an understatement. My life has changed so much. I think for me during the course, just the shift in perhaps my level of knowledge and level of capabilities that I can do within my field has grown enormously, because it's something you just kind of pick up, but perhaps you haven't acknowledged the extent at which that has been, because you have been immersed for 2 years in the field in a certain way through the studies. For me personally, I got married and had a baby during the time of my studies, so my life looks really, really different just between the time I began the course to now. It looks like a very different kind of world to me now. So yeah, it was a big change for me. I'm hoping to continue working in learning design and curriculum development. I'm really interested in this, and the course has kind of fired my interest even more in this field. So I kind of maybe have started more as a kind of jobbing teacher, but I'm really interested in the development of courses and educational programs. Maybe even more on textbooks and things would also be an area of interest. So I do hope in the future that I can use a lot of the skills and knowledge I've developed on the course in the future. I think for this segment, it would be impossible to say how much it has affected my studies. It did make my final project uniquely challenging, as conducting research in China in 2020 was, it was not easy, but I got there and I managed to finish and did well. But the pandemic has made studies very challenging for, I think, anybody in education, and it definitely hit me there as well. I would say it's an absolutely excellent option, particularly if you have experience in the field that you're looking to study in. So I was studying for a master's program, but I'd had over 8 years experience working in education, so it was a fantastic fit. It would be mental to go study on campus when you can just complete your studies online, and also continue developing your professional experience. So I think it's a really good way of studying and a really good approach for professionals. But also, if I was an undergraduate, it's also a really great way to develop your work experience while studying. So it's a really good avenue, I think, for students today.